Alright, welcome to another video on cross-border payments. And in today's video, I'm gonna make a quick recap about all the things that I have learned so far. So first, I started this by asking ChatGPT in 3.5 Turbo model about an effective roadmap to learn cross-border payments, dedicating 1 hour daily. So for a mid or an advanced English user. So their output, and also I refine this output. So on week one is the foundation of cross-border payments. Okay, and that is, well, the introduction of the cross-border payments, type of cross-border payments, regulatory framework, SWIFT, and correspondent banking, foreign exchange and exchange rate. And then the week two is cross-border payment processes, payment message type, Nostro and Vostro accounts, payment gateway and providers, cross-border payment challenge, and risk management in cross-border payment. And on week three, emerging trends and advancement, digital currency and blockchains, fintech innovation in cross-border payments, cross-border payments API, something that I'm quite familiar with, in case of study and real-world examples, right? As well as the current trends in future outlook. So the TLDR, based on the ChatGPT output, okay, it was on the week one. Of course, this actually has taken me more than anticipated, but first focuses on the fundamentals, okay, or the foundations, right? And then look now at the process, the mechanism, and the emerging trends and advancement. And I see this particular pattern something interesting, especially when you're gonna learn something. Okay, and this is something that I can apply also to another book or a doc that I actually reading, right? Where here I am exploring ideas of learning. Okay, so learn the fundamentals, then the mechanism, okay, or process, mechanism, okay, uh, and then the emerging trends and the trends, and the trends. Okay, emerging trends and advancement. So I will use this framework especially to learn something. Learn the fundamentals, then the mechanism, the relevant mechanism for you, and then the trends that are relevant to you. So this is something very, very interesting, especially to learn something. Okay, so if I go back here to my learning, especially to the digital economy here, digital economy degree. Okay, the digital economy here, on the goal on the pin, like that. Okay, learning process is this. So okay, learn the fundamentals. Okay, learn the fundamentals, follow by it is relevant mechanism for yourself. Okay, learn the fundamentals, followed by it is a relevant mechanism for yourself, or for your learning process. So followed by a relevant mechanism and trends. for your learning process. I really like this, followed by it is relevant mechanism and trends for your learning process. So yeah, and this actually comes from how ChatGPT recommend an efficient roadmap. So the inspiration here, comes at how ChatGPT comes at output at ChatGPT output based on developing an efficient an efficient Jesus an efficient way an efficient roadmap, okay, to learn. That's right. So the inspiration comes at ChatGPT output based on developing an efficient roadmap to learn, where ChatGPT, after all, is trained with this huge corpus of text that allow you to now ask questions. So here in the large language model, I'm not going to dive deep into this, just to make a quick tangent. So this large language model, which ChatGPT is one of them, you have two type of them. You have base LLM, right, where they are good at creative tasks. So, for example, you can ask to them to generate or to tell you a story about a unicorn and on a magical land. So this is great for this particular area, this base LLM or AI text generation. But when it comes to follow instructions, that's when we have is the instruction tune LLM, which they have passed through a process of fine tune the LLM in a way that attempts to follow instructions. And also is curated by using a technique called the reinforced human learning, or uh, reinforce HLL, I think is this. Reinforce human learning in LLM. Let me see if I recall that in LLM, or reinforce learning, reinforce human learning, something like this. Okay, reinforce learning with human feedback, exactly, which is this reinforcement learning with human feedback. So this is the protocol that they use here to actually refine this LLM that are trustworthy, honest, transparent, and avoid any problematic output. Problematic output, according to who? According to the creators that aligns to this particularly who receive funds to build the ChatGPT. But in any case, so yes, right? Okay, so this is the particular way of how ChatGPT actually create this roadmap. Okay, so focus first on the fundamentals, especially here with the cross-border payments, and that is, well, know what cross-border payment is, the type of cross-border payments, the regulatory framework, SWIFT and corresponding banks, forwarding exchange, and exchange rates. And then now look at the mechanism, okay, the cross-border payment processes. So the payment message types or the payment Nostra and Vostra accounts, payment gateway and providers, very, very important. Payment gateways and providers or cross-border payments challenge risk management in cross-border payments. So once you know the fundamental as well as the mechanism, now it is time to look at the emerging trends and advancement. Okay. So you have day 11, okay, which is digital currency and the blockchain, so fintech innovations in cross-border payments, cross-border payments API, case of study and real-world examples, right? And day 15, current trends and future outlook as well. So that's kind of the idea here. So, and then continuation is to actually put that at test, practical application, and then review and reflect. All right. So for the week one, the fundamental of cross-border payment. First, I look at, according to WISE and Stripe, right, that cross-border payments involved is the receive or sending payments across borders. And even though the challenge here of the sending or receiving payment across borders can be risky, challenging, you have to know the regulatory framework, meaning that you must know the risk that you need to navigate through that, as well as the hidden fees that they might charge you, even though business, in my case, I do that as well. So business see this cross-border payments as a way to reach to new customers, improve cash flow, and accelerate growth. Very, very important. So here, okay, this is the definition from Stripe. Okay, while WISE now look for the consumer side or for business side, but now looking at the cards, the credit cards. So your credit card or any card, especially when it comes to cross-border payments, what really matters here is that when the card to pay was issued, okay, so when the card to pay, where the card to pay was issued or emitted first, and where the business is located. Okay, that's what really matters here in this cross-border payments, or in Spanish, estos pagos transfronterizos. Okay, so all right, so now then I look at different types of how do you call it this? The different types of methods of cross-border payments. So according to Stripe, okay, you have wire transfers, credit cards, electronic fund transfer, international money orders, online payment platforms, and cryptocurrency. But to make our life much more easy, okay, when it comes here to know more about this wide cross-border payment from Stripe here, okay, what are cross-border payments and the benefit of doing this, okay. So this is all of the different options you can go with, right? So here we have wire transfers, credit card transactions, electronic fund transfer, international money orders. I think I put it that. All online payment platforms and cryptocurrency. Yeah, so there are several right now. I'm going to focus this on the first one, which is wire transfer. It's an electronic transfer. between different banks or financial institutions. And to know more about this financial institution, according to Investopedia, they solely exist to uh, receive deposits and issue loans, which is something that they do here. So financial institutions exist to provide a wide variety of deposit, lending, and investment products to individuals, business, or both. Okay, so a couple examples of this financial institution can be from the uh, banks and investment banks such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and also I make a quick recap of how long or how old this institution are. Okay, so with investment banks, okay, you have Bank of America, which the predecessor backs to 1784. Okay, so Bank of America, 1784. Holy fudge. Okay, so yeah, investment banks, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase in 1799. God, Citigroups in 1853, Citigroup, Credit Suisse in 1856, okay, Deutsche Bank in 1870, Goldman Sachs in 1896, and Morgan Stanley in 1935. So the whole point of this is to not only memorize is which year they actually was founded, which is very interesting, okay, but also is recognize how old each one of those players in the financial sphere, in the financial arena, are being with. So yeah, so Bank of America, since or its predecessor, from 1784, Bank of America, 1784, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, 1799, Citigroup in 1853, Deutsche Bank. It is funny because when Citigroup was found in Brazil, I may again a quick tangent. So in Brazil, Peter II was the ruler of the Brazil Empire. So yeah, Brazil has an empire history, which is very very interesting. Peter Peter II has a very very interesting life. And is also known as a workaholic as well. But in any case, so yeah, so Bank of America, Bank of America in 1784, J.P. Morgan in 1799, Citigroup in 1854, Credit Suisse in 1856, Deutsche Bank in 1870s, Goldman Sachs in 1896, and Morgan Stanley in 1935. Okay, a couple of years after the Great Depression. Interesting, by the way. And just to create the relation here, back then in 1935, that age, those years, the SEC or the Federal Reserve was created first. The Federal Reserve was created in 1999, 1919, if I recall that right. So the Federal Reserve, okay. So the Federal Reserve in 1913, okay. So the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, and this is very very interesting because they want to deal with the past banking crisis that had happened before, uh, and they want just to conciliate that and have control over that chaos that a lot of these bankers create. Okay, so in any case, so Morgan Stanley here in 1935, uh, uh, 16 years, oh, so the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, 1323, 33, 22 years after the creation of the Federal Reserve, okay, uh, and also a couple of years after the set of accounting principles such as GAAP, uh, uh, to actually make companies to public uh, their, their accounting books, uh, their ledgers, uh, in a way to create a more transparent way to exchange and to buy and sell stocks. So with that, okay, uh, Morgan Stanley was founded a couple of years after the entire mess. Okay, and also they were dragging is the the entire recession because the recession, according to Morningstar, uh, data lasts 12 years. You gotta be freaking kidding me, man. It's like, no, hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no. I don't have 12 years to invest or spend. So yeah, this is something very, very interesting. And also, doing this relationship will help you, or it helped me as well, uh, to create now this narrative around this and to make sense of all of this. So uh, after all, financial institutions, they solely exist to provide financial a set of financial products from lending, deposit, and investments to individuals, or investment products to individuals, or uh, yeah, and or the business, as well as both. So the most common type of financial institutions are banks, investment banks, such as a JP Morgan, and it is they're founded, or we can trace back to its predecessor, to 1794. Okay, this is Bank of America. Sorry, so Bank of America, its predecessor can be traced back to 1794. Morgan Stanley to 1799. Citigroup to 1835. uh, Credit Suisse to 1850. Okay, Citigroup in 1853. Okay, Credit Suisse on exactly. So Credit Suisse on 1870s, 1856. So these two banks actually were created during the reign of Peter II. So if we go here, Peter II, Brazil, Pedro II de Brazil. No, but Peter. I'm looking for Peter. Yep. But English. Pedro's. Oh, interesting. They call this Pedro. I love it. Then it's not Peter. It's Pedro. Nicknamed the Magnanimous. Portuguese or Magnânimo, was the second and last monarch of the Empire of Brazil. Pedro, interesting. Isabel, interesting. Head of the Imperial House of Brazil, disputed. Disputed. Interesting. Aureliano Bragança. Interesting. Holy fudge. So the successor, Bertrand. Interesting. Oh, allegedly they come from there. Mm. He born in France. What the hell? Isabel, Princess Imperial. Pedro and respectively were a great grandchild children of Isabel. Heir presumptive. Le Braganza. It is a strong name in there. Braganza. Okay. Petropolis line. Interesting. Braganza. Okay. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting, by the way. Okay. So, yeah, so Pedro II of Brazil, of Brazil's empire, was the second monarch and the last in there. So, in those years, so when the Credit Suisse was found, as well as the Citigroup, okay, so Citigroup founded in 1835, and Credit Suisse was founded in 18 in Citigroup founded in 1853, and 3 years later, Credit Suisse, okay, Deutsche Bank, founded in 1870, as well as the Morgan Stanley, founded in 1935. 22 years, 22 years after the creation of the Federal Reserve, in the U.S. Federal Reserve. So yeah, okay. Another type of investment or another type of financial institutions are, as I mentioned here, brokerage firms. Okay, so where they act this as a middleman between the buyer that wants to buy and sell stocks. Okay, brokerage. So brokerage firms, foundation years, for example, Merrill, which is a subsidiary from Bank of America, founded in 1914. Okay, it is funny because it was founded at the year of the First World War. Exactly. Interesting. War War 1. Nobody actually talk about this. Few people actually talk about this. So interesting. The Merrill, or that brokerage firm, Merrill, was founded in 1814. Okay, Fidelity Investment in 1946. TD Ameritrade in 1871. Interactive Brokers in 1878. Something that I would like to create an account for that, because I want to access to this financial markets. Yep. I want to access to these financial markets. So brokerage firms. And Webull, which is this is a Chinese investment firm, okay, a conglomerate, and Robinhood from US. Uh, Another financial institution is mortgage lenders. JP Morgan, Flagstar Bank. The subtle difference between this investment bank and mortgage lender is their ability. They provide funds and loans with a little bit higher interest rates. So they're useful for buying is a house, for example, and that kind of thing. So JP Morgan Chase in 70, 90, JP Morgan Chase, Flagstar Banks, Mr. Cooper in 1894, PNC Financial Service in 1845, Ally and Guarantee Rate. Okay, so this is just to know about this couple type of financial institution, not only banks, but also you have credit unions, which are much more cheaper when it comes to issue loans because they don't have this massive network that banks do. Okay, so investment banks such as uh, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, Credit Suisse, Bank of or Deutsche Bank, uh, Goldman Sachs, or Morgan Stanley, okay, brokerage firms which allow you as an investor or as an individual or business to gain access to these markets and start to get in. Period. So Merrill is one of them. Fidelity Investment founded in 1946. It is funny because Merrill, this subsidiary of Bank of America, was founded in mhm. So Merrill was founded in 1914, the same year that the World War One break out. Okay, Merrill, uh, Fidelity Investment in 1946, Fidelity Investment, TD Ameritrade as well, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, okay, Webull and Robinhood. So, so yeah, at least knowing these brokerage firms, which will help me in the long run, okay, Merrill, Fidelity Investment, Fidelity Investment, Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, Webull, and Robinhood, uh, as well as mortgage lenders. So JP Morgan Chase, Flagstar Banks, Mr. Cooper, PNC Financial Service, Ally, and Guarantee Rate. Okay, okay, okay. So okay, here we are. Uh, once I look at this, okay, this competitor analysis of the financial institution, okay, investment banks such as Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Banks, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs investment banks. Okay, also the brokerage firms such as Merrill, this subsidiary from Bank of America, Merrill, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Broker, Fidelity Investment, Webull is this Chinese conglomerate, and Robinhood from US. And then at the mortgage lender foundation, and the mortgage lender, right? So JP Morgan, Flagstar, Mr. Cooper, PNC Financial Service, Ally, Guaranteed Rate. I think Guaranteed Rates, Mr. Cooper, JP Morgan Chase, okay, Flagstar Banks. So then is now I look at something interesting because again, the type of cross-border payment methods here as wire transfer, which after all this involved is on the transfer of funds electronically between banks and financial institutions uh, in different part of the world that are transmitting using different networks. This is the mechanism. Okay, this is the mechanism of how all of these banks operate, how you as an individual or business can transfer value from one place to another. Okay, uh, so this various network here is, for example, the ACH, the Automatic Clearance House on the US. Okay, so it's a network used for electronic funds, this EFT, within a specific country. It allows financial institutions to process large volume of credits and debit transactions such as direct deposit, payroll, bill payments, and recurring transfer. So ACH is widely used in the US. It acts as a financial hub to move money from one bank account to another. These transactions are made by consumers, government, or business. So this is one type of network or mechanism that you can perform these wire transfers to transfer funds electronically across banks or financial institutions, whether it's investment banks, credit unions, or brokerage firms, mortgage lenders. Mhm. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, ACH, right? The other is the FedWire. This is very narrow specific for the U.S. Federal Reserve. The CHAPS, Clearinghouse Automatic Payment System. CHAP is a same-day electronic fund transfer system used in the United Kingdom for high-value, urgent payment such as house purchase and large business transaction. That makes a lot of sense, especially because here in Argentina, the way how you do that is by carry a huge amount of dollars, cash, to do those transactions. And also, if you are at the uh, if you belong at the middle class or that kind of thing, right? Well, you can do that by using some wire transfer. Okay, uh, but you need to tell the bank that you're going to do these huge transactions, and also you need to declare where these funds are coming from, that kind of thing. And well, actually, Argentina doesn't have a good relationship with banks, especially with what happened at 2001. So yeah, yeah. But in any case, so CHAPS here, clearing house automated payment system, CHAPS, here is a same-day electronic fund transfer system. There is a same-day electronic fund. With ACH, it can take uh, 2 or 3 business days. With CHAP, which are used on the UK for transfer large amounts such as uh, house purchase or large business transactions. Interesting. This is on the UK. CHAPS, like chapitas, CHAPS, a clearing house automatic payment system on the UK. The other is SEPA or CPA, CPA, single euro payment area. So CPA is an initiative in the European Union, okay, that aims to create a single integrated market for euro-denominated payment. Great, because with this, now countries need to compete with each other, because countries that don't will drag the growth of countries that are doing that. Okay, it's kind of like shared socialism. Okay, some sort of socialism here. It also as a it also be it's also used as a way to first um, unite a very conflicted area, Europe, one, and also well try to help others, but they must do the work. I see you, Spain, Italy, Greece. I'm seeing you. Okay. All right. All right. So CEPA, the single euro payment area, which uh, is an initiative by the European Union that aims to create a single payment market for euro denominated payments. Uh, and I'm quite familiar with that because I would like to get in, but I'm not able to. But well, the other is VisaNet. So VisaNet is Visa proprietary electronic payment networks that connect Visa card holders, merchants, and financial institutions worldwide. It processes and authorizes transactions made with Visa brand cards. So VisaNet, okay, is VisaNet Visa proprietary electronic payment network, but this is very nano-specific for VisaNet. Interesting. Proprietary electronic payment network. Jesus. Proprietary electronic payment network. And the other is the MasterCard. Similar to VisaNet, which is a proprietary electronic payment network that connect Visa card holders, merchants, and financial institutions worldwide. Similar to MasterCard. But this is it. This is it. An electronic payment network. Jesus, an electronic payment network. En Spanish, this is una red propietaria de electrónica de pagos que conecta a sus clientes a Visa o Mastercard con negocios que acepten eso. This is very, very interesting. Oh, the other is ATM networks. Banks also use network for their automatic teller machines like this, which enable customer to access their accounts with the withdrawal costs and perform various banking transactions. Okay, but ATM networks, they have a particular network for the automatic teller machines. Online banking networks. These networks enable customers to access their accounts and perform banking transactions through the internet. Online banking networks. The network uses secure protocols such as HTTPS, a protocol that I'm quite familiar with, which is somewhat the same as VisaNet or MasterCard, but Visa, Net, or MasterCard actually is a proprietary electronic payment network, okay, that connect merchants with business, or Visa card holders, Visa or MasterCard card holders, merchants, and financial institutions. And the other is in-house banking networks. Some large banks may have their private and secure wired networks to connect different branches and departments within the institution. In-house banking networks, allowing them for internal communication, data sharing, and centralized management. So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.